Hi folks, I'm Craig Taylor, and as always a huge thanks for joining me here on my YouTube channel, the Bushcraft Padawan, and thanks for joining me in this week's Thursday's Thought. A couple of weeks ago I posted a Thursday's Thought video and asked people to think about whether they consider themselves a solo bushcrafter or a social bushcrafter. Several people, myself included, said that they went solo bushcrafting, and the reason they went solo bushcrafting was in relation to what they did in their day job. I won't go into the details about what people said, but there was a correlation, there was a relationship between how they chose to bushcraft in terms of solo or social and what they did in their day job. And that got me thinking about the phrase opposites attract. Let me explain what I mean by that in my context and then pose the question to you. My day job involves me working at a computer. It involves me supporting clients with using software that's at the intersection of education and training and learning and development and technology. It's using technology to help employees and students and people and workforces develop themselves better. So it is a technology related job. So I kind of live in the murky world of code and programming and logic and zeros and ones and software and screens and user interfaces and processes. I don't do all of that stuff myself, but that's the kind of world that I live in. So it's perhaps understandable when I work at a screen with a keyboard and a mouse, and that is pretty much, and I'm not complaining about this by the way, that is pretty much my day job. You can perhaps understand why the opposite of that is getting outdoors, getting away from technology. I know the irony because I'm talking to a video camera. I get the irony there, but getting away from the technology, getting away from screens, getting away from internet connections and Wi-Fi, and getting outdoors. There is an almost an equal and opposite reason for me going outdoors to what I do indoors. That hasn't always been the case. I used to be a soldier. I used to live outdoors for a lot of the time. I used to be in the woods a lot of the time. I didn't live in the world of screens and Wi-Fi's and connections and things like that. In fact, I remember when I was in the army, I had a few girlfriends who'd say, "Should we go on a camping holiday?" And I used to say, "Not a chance. I do that for a living. I'm not choosing to do it in my own time." In fact, I even think not long after I left the army, my now wife suggested, "Should we go on a camping holiday?" And I said, "Not a chance. I spent 16 years doing that. I don't want to do it again." Now, it's been some years since I left the army, and clearly that thought process has changed somewhat, because here I am and have been here for several years now, out in the woods doing stuff. But I think a part of why I do it is that it's the antidote, or it's the balancing out. If you're not an antidote, that makes it sound like the day job is poisonous. It's the balancing the yin of the day job with the yang of being outdoors. It helps to balance things out. And that got me thinking, is that just the case for me? Is it the case for other people as well? So I'm interested to know, what's your day job? If you don't feel comfortable going into the specifics, that's absolutely fine. But give us a broad idea. What do you do for a day job? And are you interested and enjoy the outdoors because it is a contrast to the day job? For whatever reason, it might be a reason similar to mine, it might be a completely different reason, but is your interest in bushcrafting and the outdoors and this sort of thing that my channel is about, and no doubt your interest is about, is it as a balance, as a counterbalance to what you do in the day job? Go into some detail. It'd be interesting to hear people's thoughts. It would also be interesting to hear if your day job involves you being in the outdoors. Are you a tree surgeon? Are you a landscape gardener? Are you a bushcraft instructor? Are you do you have a job that you could quite easily say is what this channel is all about? And does that make it harder for you to get out and enjoy the outdoors in your downtime? Do you actually then prefer to be in front of a screen at home in a computer? So do you kind of have the opposite balance? And I'm guessing where I'm leading to with this question, it's not a question, it's an observation. It must be wonderful, or is it, for your day job to be your passion and interest, and for your passion and interest to be your day job. I'm thinking of perhaps some of the famous outdoors people out there, some of the famous bushcraft personalities out there who have made a career of it, but I suspect it's also, well, I don't know, I'm guessing, is it also their interest? Do they choose to do that when they're off duty as such? Anyway, I'm not asking you to second guess what they do and why they do it, but it would be interesting to hear what your day job is and why is that the reason why you go bushcrafting. You bushcraft to forget. I drink to forget, I bushcraft to forget. Always interested in hearing your thoughts on these Thursday's thoughts. It's interesting to make the videos and it gets me thinking, but your comments get me thinking even more, so drop them down below. Thanks as always for shall I start that again? Thanks as always for watching, folks, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Cheers.